We're back to the Neil Haley Show and also the Media Giant Effect. And I'm excited about our topic today and our guest. Our guest is Florence Callender, and we're going to talk about dyslexia. Florence, thanks for stopping by. And tell me how you got involved to really help people who have dyslexia. Tell us that story.
Thanks, Neil. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I got involved in the dyslexia space because when my daughter was in the second grade, I got a call to the school letting me know that she was not going to be advanced to the next class. And when I asked why, because I hadn't gotten any negative reviews from them throughout the entire year, they told me she couldn't read. Now, I knew that she was having some trouble at home, and homework, 15-minute homework would take an hour, but I didn't know the extent of the difficulty she was having at school. So when I got that news, I said, well, how are you going to teach her differently next year? And they told me, the teacher says, I only know one way to teach. So I said, well, absolutely not. She's not going to be left back. Give me the summer and test her again in September. And so that summer I went over, I did some research, and as I plugged in the symptoms she was having, it all kept coming back. Dyslexia kept coming up, this word. So I said, okay, what is this? And I did some research, got her tested, and realized that that was what her problem was. And so I did research as a speech language pathologist. I was able to get a bunch of programs and incorporate different parts of them and work with her at home. So when they tested her in September, she was advanced to the third grade. I kept working with her throughout the years. When she graduated high school, she graduated as valedictorian of her class. So parents have been asking me, how did you do that? How did you do that? And that's what got me into the space. I realized that I had a moral responsibility to help others do what I had done, because there was nothing special about me. I didn't have any specialized training. And if I, as a parent, can do that, then others can do it too, and I can show them.
See, I love that. So you basically figured out your why. And then once you figured out your why, you're ready to go.
That's right.
All right. So tell us specifically how to look out for if it could be dyslexia. This is the tips for parents out there, because there's dysgraphia for math, and then there's dyslexia for reading. How do we identify that could be out there? To kind of explain that to us.
So the symptoms show up early in the child's life, and many parents don't realize it because the pediatrician says, oh, he'll grow out of it, she'll grow out of it. But sometimes when children are mispronouncing word like spaghetti or instead of spaghetti, or when you give them directions, they only hear part of the direction, maybe the first part or the last part, and they miss it. And then as they're reading, they are flipping the letters. You're teaching them the letters at home, the alphabet, and they may flip the B for the D. Now that happens with most children, but if it continues after the first grade, then that's a red flag. And then the children also have difficulty with numbers. Sometimes they also mix up the numbers. And so it can show up in a number of ways. The key is if it is persistent up until the second grade, all through first grade, and all of the strategies that the teachers are telling you to work with them at home, read more, you need to read more, let them read. If that's not working, then that's a heads up that this child may have a more serious problem than just the average child who's learning something new, because reading is hard work. That's why children take so long to learn it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. And so you're figuring out those different things. And what do you do to help people, Florence?
So I work with parents. I work specifically with the parents because I believe that it is every parent's responsibility to take care of the education of their child. They're responsible for their child. That includes education. Everything comes there. You cannot depend on a school system to work with your child because school systems are not invested.
I was an educational advocate. I represented families with IEPs, especially autism, and I fought with the school district to help win for parents. So I believe, yes, parents are the best advocate, and they are the primary educators of the students.
Exactly. So you believe with me that schools are not really invested in working with the children because they are looking at children who are typical learners. And when you have children who learn differently, they fall between the cracks.
Totally. So based on that, where can people find you? I love the fact you're working with the parents because you're coaching them to say, you're the primary educators, go sit down, work with them. It's not difficult, it can be done, and you're going to invest in your child's life. So you said your daughter ended up being valedictorian. What is she doing now? Can you update us?
She works with a company as a media specialist, as an editor. She's into media and productions. And every Friday on YouTube, you can find her and her teammates doing shows.
Let's see, you got to be so proud. I'm proud of you, Florence. Where can people find info on me? Where can they go? Tell us right now.
I am. FlorenceCallender.com is my blog, and there I have all types of information for parents on what they can do at home. There's also a link there if they want to talk to me. We can chat.
Well, Florence, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it very much, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Neil.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure.
You're listening and watching The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.